There you go. Oh, close.
Is this good?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. We'll give it just a second as people kind of join in on. How's the day going?
Well, it's been pretty good. I kind of didn't realize it was daylight savings yesterday, so I realized that my clock's been off for an hour.
Oh, shoot. Well, I guess you've had more time than less time, right? With it falling
Yeah,
back.
yeah, which is nice.
Actually, I'm going to take these off. Can you hear me okay with these off?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
All right, cool.
How are
Uh,
you?
yeah, doing good. Doing good, yeah. Daylight savings kind of throws everything off, though.
Yeah,
Either way, for sure. So I can relate. I guess more challenges for us, right?
yeah,
Um, well, cool. Let's start. Let's start by introducing who you are. So, Chris is a member of our student panel. Does amazing work. This is your senior year. Is that
yeah.
correct? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, give us maybe the lay of the land of like when you were diagnosed with dyslexia and like when this kind of came into your life.
So I was diagnosed around in the eighth grade. Um, but I always like knew that I had dyslexia. Like we talked about it, we just like never got around to like getting it official. Like I got help in like middle school and elementary school from like my teachers because they're super nice and just willing to take it that I had it, which was super nice. But I didn't get officially diagnosed until eighth grade.
So then, what led to getting officially diagnosed? Was it
It was getting into for high school. I wasn't sure if like my teachers would be like super open or not, so I wanted to just make sure I had the documentation for it.
any challenges once you got the documentation in high school, or
Um,
was it pretty
I
smooth?
mean, I guess I've just been like super lucky because once I had the documentation, my teachers were like, "Yeah, sure, that's okay. Whatever you need, we're here to help. We want you to succeed. Our job isn't there to make you struggle."
Oh, that's awesome. Because you've probably heard a number of horror stories, kind of the other
Oh,
ways. So
just like on this panel, like everyone has horror stories, I guess.
so then, uh, okay. So then, what kind of accommodations were you using, and what did you find really helpful for your
Um,
existence in that school?
the accommodations that I've been using are just extra time on tests and then always having the option to take a test orally because in elementary school we used to have like these time tests where it was like I want to say like over 50 problems and I'd have to do it in like 3 minutes or whatever. And then I just like couldn't do it fast enough. So then my teachers offered to do it orally. And then I just was able to get through the higher levels with that.
When you're taking a test orally, do you feel like you're able to really show what you know, like more in depth, or
Um, I don't think it's necessarily more in depth. It's just I can do it faster
okay?
and easier. Just when it's on paper, I have to like think more about what I'm trying to say, and it's just more of a process.
So it's more of an efficiency thing versus okay.
Yeah.
And then, and you've used accommodations all the way up through in your senior year. Like, how's it
Uh,
been with?
it's been pretty good with the accommodations. I've just been using them all the time and throughout my time in high school.
So, okay, so transition to when did you connect with the student panel and start doing advocacy work?
Um, Around seventh grade, I want to say, is when I realized that I probably my overall grammar wasn't that great, and I needed help on it. So I got tutoring from Shelby, starting in seventh grade, just to like prepare me to high school and be a little better. And then just starting with that, I then eventually got testing.
So, okay, so I always have this question because Shelby's like a really good recruiter when it comes to the student panel. I feel like she can like either through Burgerville or different treats. Did she entice you to come on, or was it more of a
Um, I don't know. I thought it was the biggest reason was I thought it'd be good for college apps.
okay?
Um, I think it would look really good, and then also the free food that I get afterwards is always a plus.
Totally. Well, I will say this though, and I think we can make light of it from that standpoint of the food, and then obviously, yeah, anytime you're doing extracurricular activity, it's going to look good on college rep or applications. But I think too, from what you bring to the student panel, is that just giving giving those students confidence to be around, like just be around you. You can see that they gravitate towards you. You're a leader within the organization. Like you've seen it. I mean, there's a
Mm-hmm.
reason why you guys are getting an award here shortly. Like it's just pretty impressive um, work that you're doing. Have you found it rewarding, or what are some of the things your takeaways?
I mean, just previously, I never like felt comfortable exactly talking about my dyslexia towards like friends and stuff. And I think being on the student panel and like recognizing that like people care about what I have to say and my story just allowed me to open up more to my friends and to people I know about that I have dyslexia.
Yeah. Have you found that like when did it transition from being like difficult to becoming more routine for you? Because I feel like it's a routine ground ball for you in
Mm-hmm.
terms of your practice.
I would say pretty much, I don't know. I felt like it came pretty easily because I mean I had talked to just my mom a lot about this and just like sort of going over like what I would need uh, just in general so we could talk to teachers. So I got a little comfortable doing that. And then just after a few, it just felt routine because I didn't really feel nervous anymore and I was confident in what I was saying. So there wasn't much to be worried about.
That's awesome. Um, Talk to me about what is it that you would like educators to know about students' challenges with dyslexia or just dyslexia in general?
Um, I mean, I feel like a lot of people have said this, but I think it's important that it's mostly just a time disability and that it just makes things inefficient and that if we're given the proper amount of time, we can do the same level work anyone else can.
That's well said. Okay, I like that. So I want to reiterate that point. I think it's important that people understand that with the right time, these students have the IQ and capability of doing the work and accomplishing the task just as much as anybody else. So I think that is important as we bring more people and have more of an inclusive education system. What there's some tools like you talk to me about some of the assistive technology that you've used or that you found very helpful.
I really like the C pen. It's like this scanning highlighter pen that you basically it's almost sort of like a portable audiobook that I can just listen to in class if I want to have like a specific passage from a book. I can just scan it and then listen to it with headphones, which is super nice when I'm in class and we have reading time. I found that helpful. Just also normal audiobooks are super helpful. And then also making sure I'm allowed to type up every assignment.
Is handwriting an issue?
Um, yeah, my hands just get tired easily, so then just having to write a lot is difficult.
Yeah, okay, I can relate to that for sure. Um, and again, if you're just joining us, we're with the International Dyslexia Association Oregon branch. If you got questions for Chris, Chris is a senior in high school, so he's been through everything. Is talking about using assistive technology, talking about some of the challenges in the classroom as we're going through this. So feel free to drop us a line. Chris, what are some of your outlets? Like, what have you found to be your break from the grind of the education system?
Um, I've found just like existing with my brothers because we're always off doing something or arguing or just literally anything, and I it just helps like get all the stress out because just having interactions with people is nice instead of just focusing on your work. It's an outlet.
Totally. So just even conversation or just being away from the classroom
Yeah,
or
literally doing anything but classroom I've seen as just a break and a good stress reliever.
totally. Have you found like movement or like running or working out or is any of that
I,
applicable to you or is it just
um,
anything?
I mean, overall, I think it's anything, but also just like just practicing sports. So like just kicking a ball around or anything sports related is super nice. Or just going out on a walk too is
Totally.
nice.
So have you let like in looking at the classroom, it's obviously changed. Are you virtual right now with COVID?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm virtual with COVID.
Can you talk about some of the things that you've learned being in a virtual classroom, or maybe some of your challenges, or maybe it's easier. I don't know. So maybe some of the experiences that you've had.
I've learned that it is infinitely harder to communicate your ideas and just things in general online because you can't fully explain yourself and like understand how people are going to take it when it's online and you have to wait like an hour between the response. So it's just hard to get information than just walking up to your teacher and being like, hey, just want clarification, when is this assignment due? Instead, you now have to wait an hour or two to get a response, and then you have to email another teacher, and it's just a lot more process, a lot more steps in the process.
Yeah. Have you found challenges with the communication back and forth? Because I mean, I think people in the work world just have that with email and stuff. Is like you're constantly waiting for a response, or you said something that got interpreted differently. So, are those are probably some of the similar
Yeah.
challenges that you're experiencing?
I would say, other than that, it just is a little unfortunate because class times are just shorter because they don't want people just like on screens for like 6 hours a day. So then we just get through less, and then sometimes you feel lost because you should have gotten to some things in class, but you didn't quite get to them, so you don't fully understand. So then you have to go watch a Khan Academy video instead of getting what you should have gotten in your lecture to do the homework, which is a little frustrating sometimes.
Have you found any techniques to deal with that, or is it just kind of like living in the frustration of it?
It I mean, there probably is one. I haven't found it. It's just kind of existing along with digital learning.
Yeah. So you're looking forward to going back to a physical classroom then?
Definitely. It's so much more engaging. Like I can't stay engaged online for the amount of time I need to, and that's difficult.
And it may be early for you, but have you thought about what you're doing next or post high school? Like, have you gone into working applications or any of that type of stuff for college? Or
Yeah, I just applied to University of Puget Sound. So excited about that. Um, Planning to go to college. A little worried about that. Just, it's kind of stressful to just be rejected by a whole bunch of people, or maybe not. You never know. Um, so a little worried about that, but I'm excited because hopefully we'll get COVID under control and I'll be like actually have a college experience instead of being at home in college, which would be much worse than being in high school and college.
so I can definitely appreciate that and understand where you're coming from. I will tell you this. I know that the application process is stressful, but anyone that passes on you, it's going to be their loss. But it's knowing you and what you bring to the table, you'd be an asset to any university or any organization you decide to embark on. So just know that in the back of your mind, it's their loss, and find the next one if that becomes the case. But I'll keep my fingers crossed for you.
Thanks.
Is Puget Sound, is that the number one choice, or is
yeah, that's where I'm early decisioning to.
Cool. Okay, very cool. So I know we're kind of in COVID. Are you any plans for now between then? Like, are you working on any projects, or what is life like for Chris right now?
Life is honestly easy until I realize I have certain responsibilities, and then it's stressful, and it's just sort of a repetitive loop. Because I have senior capstone and thesis, which is due in a long time, but I have to work on it throughout the year. So then I'm working on it, it's stressful, and then I'll forget about it, and then I'm not stressed, and then I'll remember it again and be like, oh shoot, this should have been done like a week ago. But besides that, it's been a lot of fun. I've been able to take classes that I've really wanted to take, so it's been good.
What is one of the classes that has been most enjoyable for you during this time?
I absolutely love the science teacher at my school, who teaches chemistry and biology, but also teaches advanced bio, which is open to seniors. So I'm really excited that I can take advanced biology, even though I don't like biology or science at all. I just really enjoy the classroom environment that she brings to the classroom.
Oh, that's awesome. So Shelby's on the line too, and Shelby, completely agree with your comment. Colleges would be lucky to have Chris. Totally agree. We all know that. It's going to be a matter of where, but we're all rooting for your number one choice. So what advice would you have for students that are maybe kind of trying to figure out their life, maybe they're struggling with talking about dyslexia or dealing with it in the classroom, what insights do you have for them?
If you do not actively work on your time management skills, your life will be infinitely harder than if you chose to work on it a little bit. Like just being able to time management, or just like try to get your work done early so then you don't have to worry about it. Just work on, or oh, you just need to work on your things and make sure you have enough time. And it's okay if you have to sacrifice some other things because school's important, but other things are important too. Just being able to like manage things is really good. And if you're struggling, then just try to work on that. And if you are still struggling, I don't know, work on it better, I guess.
Yeah.
I just think that's probably the most important thing, and probably the thing that can change your high school experience the most.
That sweat equity, like putting the effort in, sounds like it's a big key to the puzzle. What
Yeah.
about and what about talking about it or asking for the help part of it? Like, what would you tell people to maybe help move them uh, to to advocate for themselves?
Even the meanest teacher is probably actually a nice person. I mean, I doubt someone will actively like hate you because you have dyslexia. Like I'm sure they wouldn't be teachers if they don't want you to succeed. That's kind of their job. So even if they're like intimidating or seem not understanding, or if they're not understanding at all, just like keep with it and try to have the benefit of the doubt that they aren't against you, and just know that they're with you.
I like that. I think that's good. If people can realize that even if you're intimidated, even if you think whatever you think they might be thinking of you, it's probably not accurate. So to take that step and ask for what you you need is really important. We have Jane on the line. In that respect, how are you kind to yourself academically?
What does it mean to be kind to yourself academically?
It's a good question. I'm gonna have to interpret because we're
Yeah.
online. So to go to your point earlier, but I think what she means is like, how do you give yourself some grace with regard to maybe some of the challenges that you would have academically, or what advice would you have for students that are maybe kind of working through things or working through challenges?
If you ever have a big project, make sure you know when things are due and set time, like a timeline for yourself, and be like, even if the project's due in 30 days, have 10% done every 3 days, or just like map it out and then try to follow with that schedule. And then also, if you realize you're running behind, you can then go up to your teacher and be like, hey, I need X amount of days, or I just need an extension. And then you could also, if they're like, well, how do I know you're not doing the work? Then you just like, you have work done so you can show them that they are doing that.
Got it. I think, and she elaborates to like giving yourself just grace in general. But it sounds like from your standpoint, if you plan it out and you effectively project management your class assignments, it's going to essentially give yourself grace by knowing your deadlines and then knowing what you need to ask for. So I think that makes a lot of sense. We have a question on the line. What or which accommodations make school most successful for you? And you talked about a few of those, but could you elaborate maybe a little bit more?
I believe the exact one I have is you take like half the time given on a test, and then you can just add it on. So you just add a half essentially. I think that's the most helpful and impactful. Just also having the option to do like tests orally, I find helpful if it's like math or something. And then also I find uh, in my accommodations I have where the teachers will send me like what's due at the end of like each week, and they'll like send that to me. So then I have it like in a physical copy of what I need to do for each class every week.
That's awesome. That's so efficient. Okay, so the rule is you get the last word. What it can be a message. It can be a message you've already said, but what do you have out there for the educators, the parents, the students? Anything you want to leave them with? The guest gets the last word of the show.
Um, just stick with it. Even if you want to quit, just stick with it. It'll get better. Um, I'm not sure how it gets in college because I'm not in college yet, but definitely as you figure out how to deal with it, even if you're given more work, you'll be able to deal with it in a better way. So it won't get worse as you go up, I don't think.
I completely agree. And I think for you, just knowing you, if you bring your game, what you've been doing in high school, and you bring that to the college level or your professional world, it's all going to be applicable and it will get easier. So I'm complete alignment with you from as you move up, not giving up and continuing with that effort, it does pay off and it does become more doable as you go on. So absolutely agree with that. Chris, thank you so much for taking your Monday night and giving us some time and insights to this audience. We really appreciate it. We appreciate everything you do for the International Dyslexia Association Oregon branch. If you have questions, feel free to email the branch. We're here to help. And Chris, have a good night.
You too. See you.